The one thing that I'll say that's like kind of interesting is just like, yes, obviously the game doesn't want to be like super clear about every single option and what it will lead to. But I was like, just based on the wording, I was like 100% sure I can't lose you, do what you must would not be the choice if you wanted to continue a persuasion check. I was like 100% sure that was just like, all right, you can just let her go forward and kill her.
Although when I saw the other option being that basically being like, oh, you want to fight or whatever, then I'm like, oh, well, that's definitely just going to start a fight immediately, and then that's exactly what it did.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew that it would start a fight. So the thing that made me nervous was just like, we knocked out Shadowheart. If knocking out Shadowheart immediately had started a dialogue, I would have just kept it. But the fact that it then just gave me control and she was like knocked out as if she was dead, and then I could start a conversation, made me be like, all right, maybe we should just go back and I'll redo the conversation. Because like, if it was something that was coded into the game as like a temporary hostile encounter where we have Shadowheart, we knock her out, and then it ends the state, that's fine, because that's happened before and we can just move on.
Ultimately, you were ripping her agency from her so that she wasn't going to go through her character arc of rejecting Shar, and instead was just going to resent you for stealing this moment from her and then probably just leave the party.
Yeah. So that makes sense. That makes sense. So, I mean, I'm fine with having fix that and just pick the other option that I was debating picking anyway. But it's interesting that can happen. I'm really curious what happens if you just kill her, or if it's even an option. Because we did tell Shadowheart to do what she thought was right, or do what she must, and she threw it away. So maybe it's scripted for Shadowheart to throw it away unless we put up a fight. I don't know.
Well, she threw it away after you then did a separate check where you had to overcome her faith, which is where I was surprised it was a 14.
I thought I was done for. I thought perhaps I might have been dead. This is all like some sort of terrible dream. But it's real, isn't it? I stood before the Nightsong. I heard Lady Shar's words. And I failed her. Worse than failed her, I defied her. Just because of what that Aasimar said.
Oh, she's an Aasimar.
I tried to leave, but Shar blocked me. Punished me for failing her. I thought I knew the limit of pain that the incurable wound could inflict, but I had no idea. It felt like I was suffering the agony of 1,000 people all at once. My blood was boiling, my hair was on fire. I thought I'd claw my own face off with the pain. But then she released me. Banished me, more like. She said I was an outcast. That all of her children would know me and revile me.
Shadowheart looks distraught, abandoned by her goddess and all former allies. And as for her divine magic, admitting who empowers her now may break her spirit for good.
We did respec her into a cleric of light for combat reasons, so I mean, it's not that bad.
Ma'am, this is very heavy, and we have never spoken to before, ever. It's very funny that it forced this conversation on me. When normally if I click on her, she's like, out of time right now. Go away.
I think 1 or 3 are probably the nice ones. Or maybe even 2. She might find 2 comforting, honestly, knowing her.
Unless you count the tadpole. It's dark. I'm like, I thought, well, we're a family, Shadowheart.
No, we're not. She's known us for a week. Like, what?
Found family.
In a week?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we've been through a lot. Let's see. You made your choice, now you have to live with it. We're all alone in the end, unless you count the tadpole. If there's any consolation, I think you did the right thing. Never thought you'd actually defy Shar. What was going through your head? Don't. That's horrible. No. I do feel like she should have had like a DC of like 18 to 20 or something. Even if it's annoying and save scummy to get through. The fact that you won You successfully cleared her faith because the game thought you'd never had interacted before was the funniest in detail possible. Let's see. If it's any consolation, I think you did the right thing.
You're lucky to have such confidence. Me. I think the full price of what I've done has yet to reveal itself. I'm a target to Lady Shar's followers now. Nightsong promised she'd tell me something about myself. I need to speak with her as soon as I can. What she said to me back in the Shadowfell about the wolves, that's no coincidence. She took flight to hunt down Ketheric Thorm. All I can do is help hasten his demise, and hope that answers soon follow.
I feel like the wolves are a false memory that they all share, like Blade Runner 20, whatever number the sequel is.
2049.
That one. The Shadow Curse, does it affect you now?
Same as anyone. Lady Shar's blessings. They're gone.
Actually, how are you feeling?
Do you really need to ask? I'm sorry. I have a lot on my mind. The Shadowfell, Nightsong. I can think of little else.
Let's see. Nightsong. You mentioned your fear of wolves, just like you shared with me. Not me. Other guy. Me, not me. That's no coincidence.
That's not the first time you've made such a leap.
What? You said it!
Maybe it's a Selûnite trick, or another way for Lady Shar to test my faith.
We'll just have to keep going and see what lies ahead.
I suppose you're right. There's nothing more I can do just yet. The sooner I speak to Nightsong, the sooner I'll know what the future holds for me. Assuming I have a future at all.
I find it interesting that there just literally isn't an option to be like, ah, but we're your family. not even for her to reject. Like, it's just not there.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to go to Moonrise Towers.
No, it's time to go to bed and long rest. I don't got no spell slots.
Yeah,
I need my
but,
spell slots back.
I mean, it's the next narrative step. Like, I think we're done with Act 2. Except for
Yeah, pretty much.
however much tower there might be to play. This could be, whenever you go to the big confrontation at the end of a thing, that's like, is this a 5-second confrontation or is this a 7-hour dungeon? What is everyone else? What were those fields everyone had?
Blessing of Selûne. Lathander's Light. Difficult, I don't know.
It's a long strider, big runner. Do.
Seems like the best way.
Alright.
Become fast boy.
I thought I was done for. I thought perhaps I might have been.
Didn't she just say this to you?
Yeah, but now it's you.
I tried to leave.
Alright, we'll skip through it.
So I guess she got teleported to like a torture dimension when she went into the portal or something.
Live with it.
Yeah.
For a time, at least. Anyone who bows to the Dark Lady could turn on me the moment they see me. I'm a target.
Yeah, she already
Nightsong
said
promised
this
she'd
stuff.
tell me something about what she said to me back in the Shadowfell. She took flight to
Alright,
hunt down Ketheric Thorm. All I can do is... Do you really need to ask?
Alright, let's see.
I'm sorry. I have a lot on my mind. The Shadowfell, Nightsong.
Nightsong
think
has
of
some
little else.
explaining to do.
Yes. I'm counting on it. I have little else to turn to. The sooner I speak to Nightsong, the sooner I'll know what the future holds for me. Assuming I have a future at all.
Alright, that's all I needed.
For the best, perhaps.
Ooh, Scratch has stuff. You want to talk to him?
Long run. Okay. Done with that.
The dog wags his tail.
Blah, blah, blah. Gimme, gimme.
Clenched between his teeth. He gives in and surrenders his fight to you.
He gave me a salami.
Yummy.
Where the fuck did you find a salami? In the death dimension. Whose salami was this?
I suppose it was only a matter of time until
God.
Shar took vengeance. For the Lady of Loss, she does not like losing.
Push me. What do you think is waiting for us at Moonrise Towers?
Who knows? Drow? Mind flayers? Death? Hopefully not ours. But maybe answers. If we can convince the right people to talk.
Now the continue bug's on my end, so I can't see the options.
Tell me about your history.
Why do you insist on exhuming the past? I was a slave. A vampire spawn. Kept by the Tsar family. Perhaps I still am. I was never able to resist their commands. But now, I've been conveniently lost. They won't ever control me again.
I bet he's gonna get controlled again.
I never asked, are you Cazador's only spawn, or are there others like you?
Cazador sired 7 spawn. Me and my 6 brothers and sisters. I was one of his first. Some of the others came years later. He was a monster to us all. But did take special pleasure in my pain. He said my screams sounded sweetest. Now that I'm gone, I don't know. I pity the other 6.
How does one become a vampire exactly?
It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vampire spawn. Their obedient puppet. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free and a true vampire.
So they bite you, you bite them. You'd have to drink Cazador's blood to be free.
Free and a true vampire, capable of creating my own coven. Yes. Although, I'd settle for just killing the bastard. I wouldn't be a true vampire, but I'd be free of him.
What do you make of Raphael's deal?
I won't lie. It's tempting. If I keep the tadpole, I risk transforming into a grotesque monster. If I lose the tadpole, Cazador has control of me, body and soul, and I return to the shadows. It's grim either way. So why not sell what's left of my soul to a devil? Better he has it than Cazador.
I understand the appeal. You're trading one master for another. You'll be a slave either way.
You're familiar with the phrase, better the devil you know? I know Cazador, and I'll take anything that saves me from that.
So better the devil you don't know.
I'm gonna put him in the party.
I suppose you want to hear about Cazador.
Because I want to look at his inventory real quick. Oh, you said he was your master.
My old master. Before the mind flayers took me from him. Before this strange, twisted freedom. Shar is a vampire lord in Baldur's Gate, the patriarch of his coven, and a monster obsessed with power. Not political power or military power, I mean power over people. The power to control them completely. He turned me nearly 200 years ago. I became his spawn, and he became my tormentor.
How were you tormentor? What did he do?
He had me go out into Baldur's Gate to fetch him the most beautiful souls I could find. It was a fun little ritual of his. I'd bring them back, and he'd ask if I wanted to dine with him. And if I said yes, he'd serve me a dead, putrid rat. Of course, if I said no, he'd have me flayed. Hard to say which was worse.
You're free now. Enjoy that freedom.
I will. But I won't take it for granted. The mind flayers aren't the only monsters out there. They're not even the only ones hunting us. All I'm asking is that you keep your eyes open and watch out for anything lurking in the shadows.
I'll watch your back, don't worry.
What more could I ask? Now, is that all?
I need you in my party.
Darling.
Alright, I got something in his oh shit, I have to level up. Nice.
I hear you did the deed. How was your little romp?
Oh. How was your little romp? More than a romp, it was fantastic. No, could have been better.
Oh dear, it was a flop. How disappointing. I hope next time you'll have higher standards when it comes to playmates. But you're not here to gossip. What can I do for you?
Did you just say that Lae'zel's bad in bed?
No, I thought he was talking about us infiltrating the gauntlet.
No.
Oh, well, whatever. Karlak, you want to... Well, if Karlak is going to be our throwing build, you want to dual class her to Thief at some point so she can get 2 bonus actions.
Our throwing
I think it's at
build?
level 6. Yeah. If we're giving her the throwing spear, it's really useful. I don't remember what we're building her for.
Giving her Lae'zel's throwing spear?
Lae'zel doesn't use the throwing spear anymore. I reclassed her.
Okay, I'm not involved in any of these discussions. I don't know what you're talking about. You're
I
picking this up
reclassed
like
Lae'zel.
we've talked about this before, but I don't know what.
I didn't know that you were actively. I didn't know you were actively playing, like doing her. So let's see. What weapon does she have? She has the returning pike. So chances are, at some point when I reclass people, I reclassed Karlak so that she could be our throwing build. So I made her probably a frenzy barbarian who has tavern brawler, which means that she's going to do extra damage when she throws stuff. But at a certain point in that level, she's going to dual class to thief to get 2 bonus actions, so she can frenzied throw twice in a turn,
Yeah,
which will deal like
I have no idea how
60
dual
damage a
classing
turn.
works in any version of D&D.
You just
It
pick
always
which
sounded
class
like
you
a
want to
thing that
level.
could definitely fuck your character up.
Not really anymore. In 3.5 it could if you didn't do it right. But
No, I wasn't.
if you want, I can
wasn't-
just put her in my
wasn't-
party and level her
I
up.
wasn't considering dual classing anyone because I have no idea. I don't have the advanced knowledge on classes to even know what you should be trying to grab from other classes to make characters better or whatever.
Are you
I've never
certain?
played a game that featured a single dual class character anywhere in my parties.
Let me look at Karlak.
I hate seeing Shadowheart suffer like this. All for doing the right thing. It's up to us to look after her now. If she needs a rest, we carry her. If she needs a hand, she has ours. If she needs
Karlak's so
ears,
nice.
we've got 4 between us. Whatever she needs.
Oh my god, she has 1,000 dialogue options
I thought
because we
she
never
was-
talked to her.
I thought she was doing a super goofy thing where she said, if she needs a hand, she has hours like a clock.
Have you already had these conversations with her about Damon's thing in her chest? I think you already did.
Yeah, no, I think
you?
I've done most of this dialogue already. It's just
Okay.
talk to her, so it all shows up like it's new.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah! I sent Illusory a montage of a character from Harley Quinn that just says "Hell yeah" over and over again. It's the Kite Man. It's just his catchphrase. He's just always like "Hell yeah," just over and over. It was a counter.
Did it just skip my ability to pick my things? That would be annoying. I think no, I think this is right. I think this is good. I don't think there's any issue with what we just got.
During the
Let me
level up
double check.
interface.
Yeah, it was weird. It just didn't show me any options, but I think it's fine.
The level up interface sucks because if you interact with just what it shows in the middle of the screen, it feels like it might skip entire steps. You have to navigate entirely by clicking on stuff in the left bar,
Copper for
like a
your
table
Yes.
of contents.
Sounds boring. Oh,
All right, I leveled her up. She got her 2 bonus actions. Now she'll just go back to leveling Barbarian without anything else, and it will be good. I want to put Astarion in the party.
Okay.
Do I want to put Astarion in the party? Do I want to put Shadowheart in the
I don't
party?
know.
Shadowheart didn't have a level up.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I'm scared.
What can I do for you?
It's not a big deal. We're doing some party management. It's an RPG. Gotta look at numbers.
I just
There we
but I
go.
don't have the knowledge that all of the things you're talking about are based on to begin with because you bring in a lot of knowledge that's outside of just what the game's presenting. So I'm just like I don't know what's happening anymore.
It's fine.
For me, the D&D games is that the guys just are the class they are, and when you level up, you make the choices out of what's presented in front of you of which feat would you want, and then that's the end of leveling, and that's just what that character is.
Yeah. So there are some classes where that's really advantageous to just go down a single path. Like, for example, what we're doing with Lizelle is we are keeping her a fighter until literally the very last level that's available to her, when we'll probably multi-class to, like, war cleric or something to get extra bonus actions. The thing is that when you play D&D, power levels have, like, really specific breakpoints. So it's like, when you get your class specialization, you, like, exponentially increase in power. So multi-classing can be really powerful if you know you can hit those breakpoints. So what I've been doing with all of our characters in order to make them like hyper functional is go like, okay, we got Karlak to Barbarian level 6, which gives her like 4 frenzy charges, and she can do enraged throw. She has all of her extra bonuses. She's really powerful. Now I'm gonna take 3 levels of rogue to give her an extra bonus action so that she hits the rogue specialization that lets her get that feature. So now she can use her barbarian bonus action twice in a row rather than just once, which literally quadruples her damage output.
All right, so do you want to explain what you did to Astarion?
Yeah.
Like a month ago,
I can
because it hasn't been relevant since, so we never got a chance to actually explain the optimizations you were making back then when you were like respec him, because we immediately had to bring Will in the party to carry the lamp.
Yeah, so the reason why I want to bring Astarion right now is because for the past few times we've been fighting, we've been caught in really awkward combat encounters where like Shadowheart is like 45 feet away from the fight and I have to spend 4 turns getting into the fight to do anything. Astarion, I can always just have him hidden out of combat, initiate combat with our main group, and then sneak attack with him or initiate combat in order to do extra damage. So what I did with him was I leveled him up to level 4 rogue, and I made him a, what was the class? I made him an assassin so that he gets extra damage and extra attacks when he is initiating against so like here's one. Assassin's Alacrity is a skill that gives you it restores your action and bonus action at the start of combat. That seems not great because like what if you're just sitting in combat or like you get surprised in combat and then all of a sudden you already have your action and bonus action. What this does is it allows Astarion to hide and then attack out of combat, and he doesn't lose his actions like it normally would if you did a sneak attack when combat had already been initiated. So when Astarion
it makes the out of combat attack a free attack without then ruining your next turn.
Yeah. So that's really powerful. It also gave him assassinate, which is an ambush, which is an assassin skill, which allows him to get a critical hit on any attack roll on a surprised creature. So if I set him up as, you know, someone who's going to initiate combat from stealth, every single hit he does for the first round is a crit, which is crazy. I then gave him sharpshooter, which gives him -5 to bow attack skills with a thing called all in. So he has a -5 penalty to hitting things, but he deals an additional 10 damage. And you bonus that with all of his bow proficiency. And I have him dual wielding hand crossbows, so he does 2 attacks per turn. And all of a sudden, he again quadruples his damage output. So you don't need to worry about like, even if you miss, he makes up for missing like at least 4 times in combat without any concern for losing damage. On top of that, he has Dread Ambusher, which gives him a +3 bonus to initiative. I gave him really high dexterity. We dual classed him to Ranger, so he could hit the specialization for Gloomstalker, which is kind of like the Ranger version of Stealth Assassin, which is really powerful. We gave him 18 dexterity, so he does a ton of extra dexterity damage. And I have his rings and his gloves equipped to do extra acid damage every single time he hits someone. So I'm basically just stacking bonuses so that Astarion can constantly hit from afar, and the moment that he's out of range, he can cunning action hide and go for sneak attack if he has a low hit chance on his basic attacks to get better advantage on things. Yeah, he's just kitted to be really slippery and really difficult to hit and do a lot of damage basically any opportunity I have to attack with him. One of his ranger passives also like gives him resistance to fire damage, which is just like the most common extra damage type in the game, because like everything can just like throw grenades at you, so that's really helpful. So yeah, I just made him a more functional character who's actually able to take advantage of sneak attacks and dexterity weapons. Whereas when we just used his base kit, he was kind of just like, he was kitted into the thief class, I think. So we just had 2 bonus actions, which like, sure, you could like run away and hide if you were out and then do a sneak attack.
Rogue and thief are different.
Yes. Thief is a specialization of rogue. So, yeah. So I just had him doing different things than we had him set up.
Thief is a specialization? The class is rogue?
The class is rogue. The 3 specializations you can get are, I want to say...
Why did I think D&D had thief as a class, akin to like barbarian?
I'm not sure.
Oh well.
I have no idea.
In my brain it was like rogue is World of Warcraft,
specialization.
but D&D has thief or something.
So rogue, this is what it is. Rogue has thief, which gives you 2 bonus actions. You can cunning action, dash, hide, or disengage, so you don't need to waste your action doing that. That's their entire utility. There's arcane trickster, which turns them into a stealthy caster, basically, a tricky caster that can do various things. And then there's assassin, which gives you the initiative bonuses and the attacks outside of combat. Thief is probably, if I had to guess, like one of the best specializations in the game from a tabletop standpoint, just because it gives you 2 bonus actions. So that's what I pair basically every single character who would otherwise be reliant on bonus actions with. So again, Thief is how we subclass Karlach, because for Karlach we make her a a berserker barbarian. So she goes into a rage and she gets access to things like frenzied throw, which is a throw that can make people go prone, which gives advantage. It does extra damage as well. We give her tavern brawler, so she throws really hard and she hits really hard, and gives her improvised weaponry. And basically by doing that, we can make it so that Karlach enraged throws an enemy, knocks them prone, throws twice with her 2 attacks per turn as a barbarian, and then can enraged throw like their fucking body at other people if I wanted to, or we can enraged throw the javelin again and get it back, because she has 2 bonus actions because she's also a thief. That's really, really, really powerful. Lysel, we are keeping her as a battle master. The interesting thing with Lysel is that we were doing basically what we were doing with Black before, with the throwing weapon, but that's not super advantageous with her, because if you just use battle master, the way it's implemented in this game, you just have an insane amount of resources at all time. She has superiority die, she has second wind, she can action surge on short rest, which allows her to take multiple turns. She can basically kill like 4 to 5 people a turn just with her damage output alone as a battle master. So we're just gonna keep her as that, and then I think by the end, she just takes 1 point of war cleric, I think is how I paced that out. So that she gets bonus action. She gets basically a channel divinity that lets her take more actions. I don't remember the specifics of it. I'd have to look at my notebook, but that's like the best build, I think, for Lysel, unless we wanted to have her do what Karlach does.
So Astarion has become a nightmare multi-shot sniper ranged character.
Yes.
There's a game called Kingdom Come Deliverance where in the opening you get nearly murdered by a guy that's a big barbarian dude who takes the sword that your family made for the king and so on, and it becomes your 20-hour long not main story, but it becomes your main focus for the first half of the game, is to track this guy down and get the sword back from him and so on. And so after I have a highlight where after 20 hours of build up for this confrontation, I encounter this guy in the attic of a burning building, and I kill him with 1 arrow to the head. And that's going to be when we get to Throm. That's going to be Astarion just ending the fight instantly.
But in Shadowheart, Shadowheart is the other character that I respect. Her respec is really simple. Light domain cleric is just like one of the best cleric types. Light and storm domain, tempest domain. Tempest domain's crazy in the tabletop. You can do so many things with it. If people who are watching and this gets into the actual recording, look up Emily Axford playing a Tempest domain cleric and just be terrified by how much damage that you can stack. But for the purposes of this particular game, when we're dealing with shadow enemies and stuff and necrotic damage and we need radiant damage and stuff, Shadowheart being a light domain cleric is just really helpful. You get access to spirit guardians that do radiant damage, which is really great. Guiding bolt is excellent, gives you advantage on hit. Really, all we did with Shadowheart was just optimize what we already had with her, and that's fine. But yeah, I want to bring Astarion because we keep getting surprised by combat and it's pissing me off, and I'm not able to take advantage of Shadowheart the way I want to. So that's why I want to take him.
Neat.